Essentially, you do not want to operate this out of solely Excel because it is a huge task.
Today we're talking about the new FASB Lease Accounting Standard, and we have brought in our lease accounting expert, Andrew. Andrew, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Ashley. Thanks for having me today. Let's talk about lease accounting.
I'm excited to talk about it. So, Andrew, tell me what you do for InfoSync.
So I am our resident lease accountant subject matter expert, where I work within our lease accounting software that we have partnered with PropertyWorks.
Awesome. So, what is the new FASB Lease Accounting Standard exactly?
The new lease accounting standard was originated out of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, where Congress commissioned the SEC to research and report about off-balance sheet transactions and their effects on the economic positions for shareholders and the transparency within their reporting. So in 2005, the SEC finished up their reporting and they found that there were $1.25 trillion worth of operating leases that were not accounted for on the financial statements. So the new standard, ASC 842, brings those operating leases off of your income statement solely and brings it onto the balance sheet, where you have a lease liability for each lease, and then you have a corresponding right of use asset. So as your lease obligations near its end, the lease liability will be reduced along with the valuation of the right of use asset.
Okay. So, if you're a multi-unit business leader or a controller working for a multi-unit company and you decided you're going to take this all on yourself, walk me through that process. What does that entail?
Yes, for most leases early on, it would be more of a hands-off approach. Since very few leases classified as a capital lease, there wasn't much attention that needed to go into analyzing leases. Now with the new standard of adding the operating leases onto the balance sheet, it's gonna have to be a more hands-on approach to where you have to truly analyze all of your contracts and find all of your leases within them. And so that's why a lot of companies have switched over to a lease accounting software program. We have partnered with PropertyWorks, and what PropertyWorks can do is warehouse and store all of your lease data and documentation, as well as PropertyWorks can abstract all of the data within it to get all the nice nuggets of information that can be pertinent to making your business decisions, as well as being compliant with ASC 842. There are other benefits using a lease accounting software program like PropertyWorks, to where you can track your rent escalations or your option deadlines to extend. A lot of companies actually miss those deadlines, and they miss out on the advantageous aspects of that because they would have to go back to the landlord and renegotiate certain terms. Essentially, you do not want to operate this out of solely Excel, because previously you could have straight line rent expense and you could track it that way through Excel spreadsheets. However, in this case, you are also tracking your lease liability valuation as well as the right of use asset valuation as you make entries until you fulfill the obligations. So it is a huge task.
Gotcha. It sounds very complex and time consuming and way over my head, but I think you explained that all really well. When is the deadline to become compliant with the new FASB standard?
All right, public companies are already compliant. They have completed the transition process to the new ASC 842 standards. However, private companies were supposed to have transitioned for this current fiscal year 2021. However, the COVID pandemic has essentially pushed everything back. So now the current deadline to start using the new standard would be for fiscal year 2022. So that deadline is really coming up pretty quickly.
So really you want to get on this like right now, because this is not something you can just squeeze in the last minute in a couple of months. It's going to take time.
Yeah, that's correct. Essentially, what you want to have is your full history of your lease. And some of these leases I have encountered go back 20, 30 years, and they keep getting extended, amended, and such. In terms of what is needed right now to understand your lease obligations, that's not too important. But if you do have some auditors that are really paying attention to the trail of document for it, you will need to have that support. And it can be difficult to track down all of your documentation.
Okay, awesome. Well, Andrew, thank you so much. I'm really excited. I think that our audience and our clients will find a lot of value in the information you provided today. I'm so excited to offer them this insight to help them achieve success. So thank you.